After a fallout with Glenn Danzig, the Misfits project was broken up and on the back burner for over a decade. Lawsuits between the members would go on for years before, finally, the rights to the band were returned to brothers Jerry Only and Doyle von Frankenstein. Despite the legal drama, they first invited Danzig to return to the band, which he declined, no surprise after a legal battle. After that, they even entertained having Peter Steele from Type O Negative join up. However, after many behind-the-scenes auditions and rehearsal sessions, a little-known New Jersey singer, Michael Graves, would get the job. This occurred after Peter Steele essentially told the band, "He sings better than me, and you would be insane not to pick this guy." The new singer would have huge shoes to fill, as the rabid Misfits fanbase was initially apprehensive about the continuation of the band without Danzig's participation. Yet the two records they made with Michael Graves, American Psycho and Famous Monsters, would not only win over a majority of the existing fans, but also update their musical style to introduce the band to new fans as well. So today on this music analysis edition of the Launchpad podcast, I will be digging into one of the most famous tracks from the Famous Monsters album, Saturday Night.
Welcome to the Launchpad podcast.
Motherfucker!
The song was written by Michael Graves, and he brought it to the band, which planted the seed to it being one of the fan favorites of the new Misfits style. And many people to this day still feel that this is the best song Michael Graves introduced to the band. So let's dig into this spooky punk rock classic. There are 52 Saturdays in a year. This could also be a reference to Paul Simon's 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. Now, he does not say days, but ways. However, it is interesting to consider that this lovesick murderer is perusing around city to city every Saturday night, looking for his next romantic flame and soon-to-be victim. The everlasting memories of Amy, one of his previous love interests and victims, has inspired our violent narrator to confess to what he's done to both the cops and us, the audience hearing the song. What exactly has he done? Well, for starters, committing multiple murders of women he had romantic or lustful feelings for. Julie's screaming does not satisfy him the way Amy's did. Now, screaming is used as a metaphor for the deeper sentiment the song drives at. Stark comparisons of Amy versus Julie in both life and during his killing of her. And now he's deeply dejected about killing Amy, as she was the only girl who he felt like he was truly connected with prior to losing his mind and offing her.
And so maybe I'll be over as soon as I feel
I'll be over can function as a metaphor of stalking another victim after bragging to friends, or potentially joining Amy on the other side in death after he finishes his confessions of violence to the police.
And I can remember when I saw you. We were running all around and having blast out of the past. But the backseat of the driving is so lonely without you. I know when you're
our murderous narrator continues reminiscing about the good old times with his deceased Amy. He cannot help but admit his present pales in comparison to their united past.
As the moon becomes the night time, you go viciously, quietly away. I'm sitting in the bedroom where we used to sit and smoke cigarettes. And now I'm watching you die. Oh.
We revert back to where our storyteller is in the midst of watching his lesser option, Julie, slowly die, putting a permanent end to their lacking connection. The forthcoming lyrics continue to show how much of a shadow this Amy connection casts on everything in his eyes.
I can remember when I saw her last. We were running all around and having a blast. But the backseat of the driving got so lonely without you. I know when you're home, I was thinking about you. There was something I forgot to say. I was driving on a Saturday night. I was up cruising without you. They were playing our song. Driving on Saturday night. Yeah. Crying on Saturday night. Crying on
After further dwelling on his nostalgia and cruising around town while the radio plays the go-to song representing his connection with Amy, he admits to breaking down in tears from his heart-heavy pain and unshakable regret. Now that I've covered the artistic premise of the track, here is a little more real-life background information on the inspirational material that went into the creation of this horror-themed punk song. For starters, why Amy? And why Julie? Of all the names Mr. Graves could have picked, was it something he mindlessly landed on, or is there more to it? Let's take a listen to the songwriter explain this thread of the story himself.
So, I don't know who's Amy.
It was a friend of mine's girlfriend, and it just worked perfectly.
That's a much shorter story than you.
So Julie was kind of like a hit from my past. It was like a drive-by sort of hit. So the short version of the story is that I was going to theater school in like high school. My mom had signed me up for it. She's like, you gotta go, you're gonna learn so much. Which I did, but you know, I was a teenager, so I was like, and it was in like a really ritzy neighborhood. It's in the neighborhoods that, you know, the Housewives of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it was. It was in Glen Rock High School.
Oh no.
And like I came from, you know, lower middle class work. You know, my father was a cop. My mom stayed home, raised us 4 crazy kids. So I go to this. I start going to this school, and like all the kids are, you know, they're destined for Broadway. They got all the cool stuff on, but you know, and I was a weirdo. Like I was the kid that was dressed up like the school shooter with the black boots on, and I come in my trench coat.
I can see it.
You know,
I can see it.
and so like all the kids were like, they didn't really talk to me, and I was very awkward, much more awkward than I am now. But there was this girl, her name was Julie, and she was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. She had like long, like crimpy curl hair, you know, like mermaid. It wasn't crimpy, it was like
natural.
that, like natural. And she had these big blue eyes, and she sang like an angel. So like, she really had an amazing, amazing voice. So I was just like smitten.
Like a kitten.
Dude. Gobsmacked. So weeks go by, And I hear one week that's going to be her birthday next week. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to make my move. This is my big move. So I plan on getting her like a present and then giving it to her that next week. And it's crazy because, you know, my mom and I are real tight. So I tell my mom my plan and she's just like, Michael's coming out of his shell. he's got this courage. He's going to speak to people. This is amazing. So I go to the mall and I buy her this Ankh, and it's like on a silver chain. You know, remember like Ankhs were cool, right? Yeah. So I got her this, like, it was a really cool piece, a really nice silver necklace, a little box, and I roll up on her the next week in the morning, and like I mustered, I swear, like, all my courage. I can't tell you how much courage it took me to do this. I was not a very outgoing kid. And she was very nice, and I gave it to her. I overheard some people saying it was your birthday. You know, I've always wanted to talk to you, and I just, you know, happy birthday. Here you go. I'll give it to her. And so we all go off to our own separate little classes and stuff. Then at the end of the day, I'm like one of the last people to leave. Because I didn't want to go out and mix with everybody that's out there. I get, like, you know, anxiety. So I wait for everyone to pretty much go out, and it's the, you know, the long sidewalk type thing where your mom pulls up right there, and it's good, like, you know, 40-yard walk. And so I walk out the doors, and I remember seeing out of my peripheral vision. I have big eyes, so I have I can almost see behind me. And I remember seeing like over here like a shiny, and I look over, and in the bushes I can see the Ankh.
Bitch.
Yes. And I remember seeing it, and I turned my head a little bit, and I could tell that it was absolutely the necklace. And I pretended I didn't see it, and I just kept on walking. I really wanted to go fish it out of the bushes and stuff, but I was so fucking embarrassed that I didn't want anyone to see anything. So I just kind of saw it. I was like, okay. I thought maybe I saw the box over there. And I just kept on walking. Like, she came out and she was just like talking to her friends, like, oh, fucking freak. Like that. That's what I imagined. And I got into the car, and I was just, you know, it was awful. So when I was writing the song "Crying on Saturday Night" all these years later, it was probably 1991, 92. So about 4 years later, right, for Americans, or no, even more, because it was Famous Monsters. I'm writing this song, and I thought about Julie. That's why I put her name in the song.
And Amy's just the friend's girlfriend?
Amy's, yeah, it was just a step to get to the Julie part. I got nothing against Amy.
But the story kills me. I mean, not nearly the same, but like I think everybody has that, you know, Julie from those teenage
Absolutely,
years.
sure. Yeah. That's the sentiment that goes into that song. I think that's one of the reasons that people connect to that song, because it's that brokenness in that song, but there's also, like a lot of the songs, there's that ingredient of redemption, you know, and the happiness.
Happy ending. You killed
If you're gonna go into that song, if you could go right into Sunday Morning.
Okay. Like the song's not necessarily about her. It was just a way to like, yeah, that fits, and that's fucking perfect. Someday I'm gonna tell that story about how horrible a person she was for that moment.
So you might be thinking, what happens to this remorseful, murdering sicko after the events of Saturday night? Well, as a few of you may already know, Michael Graves wrote a sequel to this song entitled Dying on Sunday Morning. Now, this sequel was not a Misfits song. It was only written for his solo material. However, I cannot resist the urge to dig into it also to complete the saga for you. So let's take a dive into that track now.
There's no more feelings left in the world. They've all died of broken hearts. passing, and all the hope I had returns. Oh, I believe in happily ever after. Oh, I felt fine until I heard our song.
Our villainous narrator seems to have had his reflections from Saturday night seep into the following day, although the lyrical tone has descended from deep regret into flat-out depressive quicksand. He hasn't felt fine since hearing the song he shared with Amy, and it keeps spiraling him down from here on out.
There's more ways than one to kill another soul. I just prefer the pain on the inside. The moment I imagine keeps on passing, and all the hope I had returns. Oh, I believed in happily ever after. Oh, I felt fine until I heard our song.
The first line in that stanza winks back to the opening line of Saturday Night, but now his remorse has shifted his perspective from externalizing this pain via inflicting his murderous rage onto others in favor of sinking further into his own internal personal hell. Any hope he has, or feelings of a potentially happy ending, are fleeting due to the dark cloud of his dead Amy hanging over his head.
I feel like everything is gone, dying on Sunday morn. I feel like everything's wrong, dying on Sunday morn. Dying on Sunday
Everything is wrong, everything is gone, and all he used to know in terms of peace of mind and belonging have ran dry, and he can only find solace and release to the violence and depressive feelings by joining the beloved Amy and his other victims in the cold embrace of death. And now, played in its entirety, Saturday Night and Dying on Sunday Morning.
This is such a dark song, and to me it's always been amazing how people have connected with the not so dark side of it, which is brilliant, which kind of gives me hope for mankind. But truly, I never expected people to really see this song for what it is.
I was thinking about you. There was something I
There's no more villains left in the world. They've all died of broken hearts. The moment I imagine keeps on passing, and all the hope I had returns. Oh, I believe in happily ever after. Oh, I felt fine till I heard a song. Now I feel like everything is wrong. Dying on Sunday morn. I feel like everything is gone. I'm dying on Sunday morn. There's more ways than one to kill another soul. I just prefer the pain on the inside. The moment I imagine keeps on passing, and then all the hope I had returns. Oh, I believe in happily ever after. Oh, I felt fine until I heard a song. Now I feel like everything is wrong. I feel like I'm dying on Sunday morn. I feel like everything is gone. I'm dying on Sunday morn. Dying on Sunday morn.
And final thoughts. Now, of course, this musical duology is simply a fun dose of horror-themed songs, and nothing super deep in terms of real-life applied meaning, well, outside of perhaps juxtaposing your own regrets about your treatment of past lovers or friendships in your life, sometimes realizing that maybe you should have been more present in the crucial moments as they were happening, instead of having the full impact of the situation sink in long after the ending of that specific connection. But I always thought Saturday Night was a top 5 Misfits song, even including the Danzig era. Yet not many people outside of Misfit fans seem to have been exposed to it, and the track is wildly underrated. So the entire point in making this video was to have some fun with this breakdown, and hopefully turn some new ears on to the sheer awesomeness of Saturday Night and its even lesser discovered sequel. Before signing off, I wanted to give some shoutouts to some long-time subscribers and one subscriber who commissioned this video topic right here. So shout out to Midday Coven, Digital Fox, Creole Kid, and Elizabeth Onheiber. And if you would like to take your support of this channel to the next level by commissioning a video topic or sending a one-off supporter donation, you can do so on my Launchpad channel page via the PayPal or Buy Me a Coffee links. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, all that good shit, to show some love, because the more attention this project gets, the more time and resources I'll put into upgrading the equipment and dedicating more time towards consistently uploading. And until next time, stay open-minded and self-realized.
Yeah.